What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Plays podcast. This is episode number 34. And today we have my co-host back. It is Timothy Troiano. He took probably what feels like 2 months off or something, but he's back, ready to give you guys split decisions, ready to give you guys big money props. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing great, Narco man. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Waiting to hit some Lambos here this week. It's UFC Vegas 61, I believe. What is it? Which number are we at?
Yes, 61.
I honestly lost track with some of these, but yeah, UFC Vegas 61, 12 fights on the card. It's Dern versus Jan. Not the best main event, but there's some decent fights on the card. I don't mind it whatsoever. Let me go over to chat and shout out the chat real quick. It's Mike Z. What's up, bro? It's Daz in the house. My brother Jay is in here. Mushroom is always in here. What's up, Mushroom? My brother Lou Betcha, another guy that loves the big long shot props. Dap Father's in here. Who else we got in here? Philip. What's up, Philip? And Papa Chuck. All right. Well, 13 of you in here so far. I don't like that number, but what can we do? That's a pretty low number, but it's going to start to kick up, hopefully, while we continue on this night. So we will start it off here. First fight of the night, it is Randy Costa versus the this is going to be a common theme today, the 42-year-old Guido Canetti. What do you have here, Tim, for your Lambo play?
Well, I'll give my – I think the pick is Costa round one, but it's not big enough. But I think that's a good play. I think he does win the fight probably at a good clip in round one. If he doesn't, he dies. Historically, it's a pretty easy guy to bet against. And Guido is going to have enough power in his hands. I actually hit one of the Lambo plays on Guido's last fight against Moutinho, hitting 15-1 on KO one for him. I really don't mind like KO2 for Guido, taking a small shot at that at 18-1. If he can last the first round and kind of withstand the damage. It's a very big if. Like I said, I think I would pick Costa. My pick would be Costa to win in round one by KO. But let's say he doesn't. I'm thinking I'm going to take a small stab at the Guido round two. Costa doesn't even see round threes. And it's just kind of like a simple fight. Just one of those. He's kind of easy to bet. So how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with everything you said. I did get in on a Guido line kind of early. Guido round one KO 8 plus 1800, just because, not because like Costa's a fast starter, he's really good, but he's also getting hit in round one. Like let's make that clear that he does get hit in round one. 42 years old, but honestly, Guido packs a lot of power in his hands in the first round. And like we saw it with Marlon Vera, dude, like one of the most durable guys out there, I would say, is Marlon Vera. And he hurt Marlon Vera pretty bad in that first round. And if he can hurt Marlon Vera, I think he can hurt anybody. So, the way Costa fights in that first round is kind of reckless, kind of a crazy pace. And I think there will be counter shots. And if he lands something really clean, I wouldn't be shocked if he knocks out Costa. But with that being said, I do like the Costa side. I do think Costa knocks him out in round one. It's not good enough. But the other thing we've seen with Costa, and I do want to mention it, is the beginning of round two, he's looked good in some of these fights. Like give me 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so the other thing that I would say about Costa is the last fight that he had was I was just going to say the last fight with Costa, he was a little bit safer. And it didn't help him at all cardio-wise. So, I don't think that he's going to go out safe this route. I think he's going to try to kill him early.
Yeah, I mean, I even listened to his interview, and he's like, I want to put his fist through the canvas or his face through the canvas or something. Like, he's going to go out for the knockout, I'm pretty sure. But, he was still, looking good in the beginning of that second round against Yanez, is what I'm trying to say. So, would I be shocked if he knocks out, Canetti survives and he knocks him out in the beginning of the second round? No. So that's why I took a stab. Costa round two plus a 650. The problem is I like round one. I just can't give you round one as a Lambo play. Like, what is round one? KO. Minus or plus 100 or something?
Plus 110 or plus 115.
Yeah, like I can't give you that. That's a shitty play. So I'm gonna go with round two. Not something I really like, to be honest. So maybe just stay away here and don't mess around with that.
Or just bet if you, I mean, really just, you could bet light on the round, like you said, if you could bet really light on Guido KO1 and KO2, and then like 80% of your bet could be cost of round one.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty solid.
I honestly doubt. I know Rips and Pixon in here. What up, brother? Over 1.5 on live bet. I don't like the over, bro. I honestly don't, man. This is a style. The problem is like when Costa comes forward, it's not like Canetti's gonna be willing to like throw back and engage. That's the problem. So I can't give you the over. I think this fight goes under. I think he gets hurt probably in the first round. Sorry.
No worries. So the next fight, we got the Julia Stoli Orenko versus Chelsea Chandler.
Yep. Julia Stoli, Chelsea Chandler. Yeah, I'll kick this one off. From a like betting perspective, like money line wise, I see a lot of people that are on Storyalenko. I get it. I get she's like the better grappler. I get that she's like more experienced. But honestly, I favor Chandler in the striking. I think she has more power. She, to me, is probably going to be the stronger girl. She looks pretty strong when she's grappling. But she likes to play around on the ground a lot. And I think that's a big question mark to do against a girl like Storyalenko. So with that being said, I'm going right back to the well. It's Storyalenko, round one submission, plus 750. You have to play it, dude. Like this girl, the amount of round one submissions she has, like she got 10 wins, right? How many of them are round one submission? 1, 2, 3,
9.
4,
9.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a
that
lot.
That was like Ferris Bueller's Day Off when he's trying to, how many days is he been sick? 9 times, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have to play round one sub, honest to God. Like you have to, because one thing I can tell you with Chandler is, yeah, she's striking, but she's also grappling a lot. She likes to get in the clinch. She likes to take people down. I'm assuming she might do the same thing. She might be able to get Storyalenko down, but then what happens? You start grappling with this girl. Like I could see her, honest. She's got some nasty ground and pound. I'll give her that. I can see her like busting up, but Storyalenko's super durable and super tough. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to give you the sub one plus 750. I'm assuming you're on the same play.
Yeah, it's just stupid line. I mean, like it just, the last time I cashed the exact same bet around the same line, I think it was plus 600. And I had the sub as well, just in case, she got it later on. But like, dude, what is the, I just don't get it. Like, it's kind of funny. I love it. Like last time she fought, I was like, oh, well, this is going to be the next time we're going to get, it's going to be like a Dern line where it's, it's going to be so close to the money line, the sub, and they won't give you very good on round one. It's just like, they're going to do the same damn thing. It's like, wow, they don't believe in this at all. And like you said, Chandler is going to, if Chandler goes for a takedown, I think like Julia is going to be perfectly happy going in the guard and then just saying, let's try to sweep this, or I'll just get a triangle or a transition into an arm bar. And like, she's a purple belt. It's such a significant difference on the ground. I think also the standing, I think like Julia's not great, but she's gotten significantly better each fight. And the Avila fight was interesting because she hit her a few times really, really hard, and Avila started shooting takedowns. So it was kind of an interesting transition to that fight, because normally you would have thought that Avila would have just stood up and banged there the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, she busted up Alexis Davis, which is not saying much because Alexis Davis seems to bleed every fight. But yeah,
she just looks a little bit better on the feet. I think all that means to me is that she'll get close. She'll be able to get closer if she needs to in certain situations where it might have been harder before. So yeah, I think sub and sub one are just easy plays.
All right, both on the sub one. Fight number 3: Maxim Grishin versus Felipe Lins. What do you have here?
All right, I got fight goes to the split decision in this one at 5-1, and if you want to get greasy on either side, you got Grishin at 7-1 and Linz at 14-1. I think that they each have a reason, like ways that they could win by split decision and make it greasy as hell. First of all, they just fight close, stupid fights, and they don't fight, like Grishin's always just going to be kind of lower volume and striking, and he's not going to give you any kind of grappling or wrestling advantage to win minutes. And he's solid. There's nothing like, it's not bad. Like his Jacoby fight was really, really looks good in hindsight. Lin's the opposite. Like it's kind of the opposite. Like he's got more of the grappling edge. He's got more of takedown potential. He's shown it a little bit in his last couple fights. He's probably a little bit higher volume, a little bit quicker. So it's just kind of one of those, what are you going to see? What are the judges going to see? So, I would I'm probably going to take a small shots on all of them by split, and just take the split, apply 5-1 and maybe edge a little bit. I don't know. I just would edge a little bit towards Linz more just because of the 14-1 versus 7-1, but I'll just take split 5-1 and I'll go Linz just for the shits at 14-1 as well by split.
All right. I had that. I marked that as my secondary play. But I'm going to give Linz by decision, just straight decision, plus 460. Some factors I see here, a lot of people were talking about how Marcin Prachnio fight. He didn't look very good. He didn't look great against Prachnio, but you guys got to remember, 2-year layoff, right? Moving down from heavyweight to light heavyweight. He also kind of like went crazy in that second round trying to get Prachnio out of there, which kind of like gassed him out a bit, which is why he wrestled a lot in the third, which was still impressive. He still landed takedowns. I think here in the second fight at like heavyweight this year and 5 months removed from his first fight, I think he's going to show better cardio. He looks like he's in great shape, like on the scales. He made weight easily again. I think he just has more volume than Grisham. He's he's a little bit younger than Grisham. For me, honestly, he's got the grappling edge here. Like he can get takedowns. I mean, remember, when you look at this guy's stats, he doesn't show a lot of takedowns at heavyweight, but come on, he's an undersized heavyweight. He was fighting at heavyweight, and it's just harder to get those guys down. I think he might be able to land a couple of takedowns on Grisham. William Knight was able to get Grisham down, 2 or 3 times. So I do like the Linz side. I have a bet on him. But I also like him by decision here. I don't think, Grisham's a veteran. I don't think he's going to be stopped here. So you're getting plus 460 on FanDuel. I'm happy with that number, honestly. I think it's a very good number.
I think it's going to be a really close fight. Like, I think the split, and I mean, even if you like Grishin by points and as well, like I just think the fight goes, what do you think the percentages of the fight going as opposed to somebody finishing this fight?
Yeah, I think it's pretty high, honestly. I think this fight goes, like you said, Grishin is very low volume for the most part. Like, I know it's line fight goes at minus 116 on FanDuel. I like that line a lot, man.
I was thinking the same thing. So kind of like, I don't really hate either fighter by decision. And since you're going for a bigger line, I mean, right. I kind of would lean, like, it's just weird. I'll just go, like I said, split.
What's the difference between this and like Arlovsky? Like,
not a lot. Yeah. Huh? These types of fighters, right?
Kind of similar fight, in my opinion. Yeah. Like right. Arlovsky's a seasoned vet, good, decent striker, is never going to grapple. Kind of very similar to what we see from Maxim Grishin, right? So, I see the fight going to decision. That one went to decision. We'll see. Moving on, it is fight number 4. It is Brandon Allen versus Christophe Japko. And this one here, same thing. Fight goes to split decision here, plus 450. I think this fight's going to be fairly close. I do like the Japko side, honestly. I think he has the grappling edge again. Actually, the wrestling edge, I should say, because submission grappling, I would favor Allen. But He has the wrestling edge. I even think he has a striking edge because Allen defensively is very bad. Allen still fucking owes me from getting robbed by Malkoun last fight because I had Malkoun by decision at like +800 or 900. I don't remember. And I got absolutely robbed in that fight because I think Malkoun won that fight. So with that being said, yeah, I like Japko's side. I like Japko, maybe by split or just, fight to end in split. But another line that caught my eye that's way off market, and I have to say it because I don't think it's going to happen. It's just way off market. And if you have it, then go play it because when you get value like different from everything else, like you have to hit it. Japko by KO on Betway is +1,000. Okay. Everywhere else is 500. So you're getting 500 extra points on KO. You have to take it. Yeah, Japko has pillow fists. I always say that. But Brandon Allen is so bad defensively that I wouldn't be shocked if he gets knocked out by Japko. So +1,000, if you have Betway, it's way off.
I'm with you on this, man. Yeah, I think the split decision is kind of simple as well in this one, kind of obvious. Stylistically, Japko just is a split machine. I do think that Allen at this price is kind of interesting because he's never been at this price recently. But I just, I don't know. I just think I think I've overrated him a little bit in going in his last fight. That last, like you said, the last fight was just really, really bad look. Also, the Chris Curtis fight, or Curtis fight was just really, really bad as well. And I'm just not really looking at him as highly as I did a few, maybe a year or so ago. So I think split decision is quite live both ways. 11-1 for Allen, 8-1 for Japko, and 450 on just split in general are all good looks. I kind of like you. I would lean to Japko for the exact same reasons. I think he just has more edges. He just has more edges.
Yeah, I agree. When you have such a competitive fight as far as volume, I favor Allen, but Japko showed pretty good volume in his last fight against Mearshart. I was pretty impressed. He used grappling. I mean, I know people are saying Allen can threaten on the ground, but Mearshart is way more dangerous, I believe, than Allen is on the ground, and he survived him on the ground. So I don't know.
Totally agree with that.
I favor the Japko side. Moving on, fight number 5 is Joaquim Silva versus Jesse Ronson. What do you have here, Tim?
All right, I'm going to take a shot on. I'm not confident on this one. I think this fight's very, very violent. I think somebody's going to die, and I think Ronson gets him out early. I think KO 1 for him. Hopefully, he's on the juice again, all the juice that he can find before this fight, and gets back to his old doctors, realizing this is his last chance in the UFC if he loses again. So KO +420, love the number. KO 1 +800 for Ronson. Those are good looks. Somebody's going to die, though. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to die this fight.
Yeah. I mean, I like the under. I played the under pretty big. I also played Ronson by KO +420. That's what I'm going to give. It's just that the way it's not even it's the way Silva gets knocked out. He's getting fucking knocked out cold, man. Even against a guy like Jared Gordon, who's really not known for having power in his hands. And freaking Jared Gordon hurt him really bad. And you know what Jared Gordon did after hurting him? He tried to take him down. He went to wrestle. Dude, guy is on skates. Knock his ass out. He's done. Instead, Jared Gordon goes to try to get a takedown against the fence after he gets him hurt really bad. And yeah, man, look, don't get me wrong. Last look versus Garcia did not look good for Jesse Ronson. I think this is a different matchup. I also think it's possible he's back on the good stuff, to be honest. He looked pretty good at weigh-ins. And the other thing I want to mention is, he hurt Nicholas Dalby pretty bad. Nicholas Dalby's actually known to be very, very durable. I mean, yeah, he subbed him, but it was a clubbing sub. He hurt him very bad and then subbed him. So I honestly think Ronson can knock out Silva. I don't think Silva's chin is good at all. So give me the old man here again, 36-year-old Jesse Ronson to knock out the 33-year-old Joaquim Silva. Moving on, fight number 6. It's speaking of old people, Alexio Lennox versus Ilier Latifi. So we're talking, I kind of mentioned this the other day. We're talking about Alexio Lennox is the oldest guy on the UFC roster. And we'll talk about the second oldest guy in the UFC roster pretty soon on this same card. And I do think that we also have like probably number 4 or 5 oldest guy in the roster in Guido Canetti. It's incredible. They called up all the old guys. Like, guys, we need you to fight all on one card. So funny. But for this fight here, oh man, I have kind of a different take than what I see all around. Like, I honestly think this fight might go to decision, man. I really do. And if it does go to decision, I think it could be like kind of like carry and splitty. So split decision on Oleinik is plus 2,200. Split decision on Latifi is plus 1,100. I'm gonna take some of those. What do you have?
Listen, we've done this fight. Like, I think we've done this fight at least twice before, right? And I was trying to go back, and I'm like, I know I've called split 2 out of 3 times. I'm not doing. We've done the exact same thing. It's like, dude, Latifi does absolute fuck all. Does nothing. Like, he had 15 strikes in 30 minutes. He does nothing in fights. Could he hit him in the feet really hard and kill him? Yes, he could, for sure. But if he gets him down on the ground, it's not like he's, just ground and pounding dudes to death. It's just, that's not how this fight goes. Like, if it's standing and it's only standing for 15 minutes and he doesn't go for takedowns, then it's going to be ugly as hell. And probably Oleinik has like some type of ugly volume edge. And if he can keep, if he can take some punches. So yeah, like, I mean, it's just nuts. Like, end and split is 9-1, 22-1 for Oleinik, and 11-1. It was 850 for points for Oleinik and 380 for Ilier. I mean, like, you have like Lambos everywhere in this one if the fight goes.
Let me say this. Like, this might be like a crazy thing to say. Maybe I don't care. Like, I say whatever I see and what I feel. But I know, like, people act like I don't think Alexio Oleinik has a bad chin, honestly. I'm being completely honest. I don't think he has a bad, like, look at the guys that Chris Daukaus knocked him out standing because he landed like a fucking insane combination on him, right? And Daukaus can knock anybody out. Then you got Derek Lewis that knocked him out, right? Nope, there's no shame in that. The other 2 were Walt Harris and Overeem, and they were both with knees. They landed knees on him and then knocked him out. But historically, like, listen, Curtis Blades from ground and pound. Sergey Spivak.
That was the one. That was the one I was going to say. That was the one I was going to say.
Dude, yeah. The guy is not as chinny as people think. Like, he's pretty durable. And to be honest, Latifi, I mean, yeah, he looks like he hits decently hard. And yeah, he knocked out, Volkan Ozdemir. But honestly, I don't know if he can, like, one punch knock out Oleinik. I don't think he can.
I'm more concerned if, like, of these, but like all the fight going and thinking like this narrative of this fight could actually go. I'm actually more concerned about like a sub from Oleinik than I would the KO on the Ilier side. 100%. Yeah, like that to me is the only thing that I'm be sub 2-3 might be more live because Ilier might gas a little bit in round 2 and 3 and might get caught. But
the one thing that would concern me with a good wrestler, right, is if he could like move to mount and just like smash Oleinik, right? Latifi ain't doing that in the ground. Like, he's going to sit in guard and do absolute fuck all, like you say, and just like try to win minutes and throwing 1 or 2 punches at a time. He's not going to do shit. So can he land takedowns? Of course he can land takedowns. I'm pretty sure he can land takedowns, but what's he going to do with them? He's going to sit there in guard and do fuck all, like you said, and let minutes like burn off the clock.
If he gets reversed, if he gets reversed at all on the ground, he could be in some trouble.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't think, because he's actually a pretty good wrestler, I don't know if he's going to get reversed. Like, because he's just not going to, the thing is, how do you get reversed when you're in guard? Like, he doesn't take any.
Well, the way I see it is like this is what Oleinik always does. Is like he'll go for a submission attempt, and he'll go a Kimura or do whatever, and then he'll get some type of reversal off of those scenarios. He's not like using his legs and blasting out with his hips and things like that, and using butterflies. It's like he just reverses you by getting you in a fuck position.
I'm going to the well, dude. I'm going to split decision. If you want play decision, like on both guys, I don't think it's bad. I like the over 1.5.
Totally.
Over 1.5, like whatever it is, 130 now. Like I would probably go like over 1.5, over 2.5. Fight goes to decision. Maybe I get screwed, but I just think this fight goes over, man.
Yeah, I'm not. We're on the same island for this fight. We've been on the same island on this fight the last 3 times we've called it.
One of them could die. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
of course, yeah.
Maybe Latifi gets subbed, or maybe Oleinik gets knocked out. I don't think Oleinik can knock out Latifi, but maybe that happens too. I don't know, but they're both old. I don't think either one gets finished, honestly. Moving on. Fight number 7. This is an interesting fight. Mike Davis versus Vyacheslav Borishev, and you can kick this one off. What do you have here?
All right. Well, I've got to take a shot on my guy again, going back to the well. You were so right on the last fight with this one. Slava, I did not respect the wrestling and the not just the wrestling. I respected the wrestling, and I expected Diakese to wrestle a lot and go for takedowns. I just thought that he wouldn't be able to hold him down, and the top game wouldn't be, and the top control wouldn't be as awesome as it was. And even as good as it was, he still had to take him down 10 times. So like, it wasn't just complete like one takedown in each round, and he took him down 3 or 4 times and just held him down with ground the whole time. So I don't think that that's going to happen as easily for Davis. I think that he will go for takedowns, and I think that he'll have some success getting them. But I think as the fight goes on, I think it's going to be harder to get him and harder to hold down. I think KO 2-3 for Slava is a solid look on my side. I think on the feet, I think it's pretty close. If the fight does go, I could see it easily being a split. But I think like I'm going to take a shot on Slava KO 2-3. I think that he gets him out of there eventually.
All right, Slava KO 2-3. I'm on the opposite side. I'm going to take. It's not a Lambo play, but it's kind of close. It's Davis KO plus 265. Yeah, I agree with you. I think on the feet, it's pretty close. I do favor, for sure, Davis's boxing over Slava's boxing. But the kicking game, Davis has a decent kicking game, but obviously I'm going to favor Borishev there. Wrestling, of course, I'm going to favor Mike Davis. He can land takedowns. The difference between Mike Davis, though, and Diakese is I just don't think Mike Davis can hold Slava down, because historically, like when Mike Davis got takedowns, people get up right away. Like, I don't know. He's not a control. Like, he wrestles, he gets takedowns, like, but not really to like control you and hold you down. He really doesn't do that. So his main game is stand up as well. So, but the major difference, I think, between these two guys is durability, in my opinion. Mike Davis, very, very durable. Like we see him in some of these wars against Sadiq Youssef, against Mason Jones. He's getting hit. He's taking it. Not that that's a good thing, because you can get knocked out. But the problem that I see, Mike Davis, I have no idea how he didn't stop Mason Jones. Like Mason Jones took everything in the kitchen sink and wouldn't go out. He's just like, he's got very good striking and he has power in his hands. And the problem is Borishev gets hurt every damn fight against the guy that's a striker. Like Dakota Bush, who's not a striker, hurt him 2 times. Chris Duncan hurt him. In the regionals, I forgot which one of these guys. I think it was Kenley St. Louis hurt him. Like, he's getting hurt almost all the time on the feet. And I can't look away from that. Like, I think if Davis hurts you, like he throws such good combinations that he's going to probably get you out of there. And with that being said, I kind of favor Davis here. Davis KO plus 265. You're taking Slava by KO. I don't blame you, because he hits very hard. He can get probably anybody out of there. And it's a nice number. I mean, plus 400. it's not bad at all. So, yeah.
Do you think if Slava wins, do you think that his path is more decision, or do you think he does get him out of there? If you were on it, I know you're not on that.
I don't think he wins a decision. I think he's got to get him out of there.
Okay.
Just because of the wrestling, because I do think it's very competitive on the feet, but I do think Davis always goes for takedowns. So he's going to land takedowns. It's just a matter of
the other part of my brain that's going, if this fight goes, it just keeps going split if it goes. Like, I think it could be really close back and forth between him striking and have maybe a slight edge on the wrestling, like you're saying. But I think it could be really close in the feet.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on.
You're muted.
I know. I got it. Fight number 8, it's John Castaneda versus Daniel Santos. And I can kick this one off. Another fight that I think is going to be close, honestly. Split decision again here is plus 500. I mean, one has a lot of aggression. One moves forward. That's Santos. We saw it against Arce. The one thing I realized with Castaneda in some of his fights, like against Wineland, like he wasn't really looking good in that fight, like moving backwards. Like Wineland was landing. He was on the back foot. Same thing with the, Nathaniel Wood fight when he was on the back foot. Same thing with the Marcelo Rojo fight when he was on. He just doesn't look very good on the back foot. And when you look at Daniel Santos, like he's always moving forward, always coming. Look at the punishment he took from Arce and just kept moving forward. And it's just, that's going to happen here. Who's going to be the cleaner striker? I think it's Castaneda. Who has the wrestling advantage? Castaneda. But volume, pressure is all going to come from Santos. So with that being said, how referees, the judges see it, I don't know. But I think this fight goes to decision and split is plus 500. I don't mind it.
Yeah, just rewind what you said. Pretty much, I'm 100% with you. I was laughing when you said it. For people who don't know our podcast, we do not talk about our picks beforehand ever, and so it's not like we're trying to go back and forth and try to problem solve what we think will happen. So, but it is funny sometimes where we do these pods a lot, and we're just like sometimes we're on the exact same ones, and these are kind of easy reads. Like I think the same thing. Like the fight, I feel like the fight goes. I feel like both guys are durable as hell. I think I kind of, because of the more pass and the volume and the forward pressure, I kind of would lean Santos by split at 12-1 if I had to take a greasier shot at a higher number, but split 5-1 just to be safe. But if you want to take a real D-gen shot at 12-1, I wouldn't mind taking a shot at Santos.
I mean, I agree with you. He has the volume edge, so if you want to take a shot with the big, pretty good-sized dog, I would probably play Santos as well. Moving on, fight number 9, it's Sadiq Yusuff versus Don Shainis, the late replacement. What do you have here, Tim?
I think Sadiq knocks him out later on the fight, round 2, round 3. I probably tries to keep his distance a little bit in the first and just kind of feel him out. The Shainis is on short notice, so he hasn't been planning for this guy. So probably going to check him out, knows he's a wrestler, probably going to try to stay away and just keep it range at first. And then eventually he's going to connect on some shots and I think eventually get him out. So, okay, it's a Corolla play plus 250 on FanDuel, KO 2-3 plus 250. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad play if you want to do that. For me, I have a little different take on this one, honestly. I from what I watch on tape on this Shainis guy, like obviously he loves to grapple. He loves to wrestle. Super, super aggressive. He's coming on short notice. Has shown pretty good cardio, like decent cardio. He got hurt in his last fight against like some nobody. He tends to be wild on the feet, but the one thing you can expect from this guy is if you do hurt him, he's going to go shoot for takedowns. And honestly, Sadiq Yusuff, it piqued me because Sadiq Yusuff's submission is plus 1,200. He's never got a sub, I believe. Let me look. Let me make sure because I don't want to give. Yeah, He's never got a sub in his professional career. He did have an armbar in his amateurs, but in his last two fights against, I believe, Arnold Allen and Caceres, maybe it wasn't Allen. Let me make sure. I know against Caceres for sure, he went for a submission when Caceres shot. But yeah, it was okay. So it was against Arnold. I'm sorry, it was against Arnold Allen and Andre Feely. Both times, both those guys shot for takedowns, and they got takedowns, but twice he threatened with a submission. One time with a guillotine, one time with a Kimura. And the one thing I see from this guy, Shanis, is he gets himself in bad positions on the ground. He got against Nathan Williams. He got himself in really bad positions. And Sadiq is the much quicker guy. He looks like the stronger guy. He's the more athletic guy. I honestly think a club and sub is very, very live here. So submission is 1,200. And if you want to really get crazy, and how I did it is submission 2 on FanDuel is 3,700. Submission 3 on DK is 6,500. Honestly, I honestly think the sub is super live here against this Don Shanis guy.
I love that, by the way. I'm gonna be playing that. You know, I love those fucking long ass ones. Let's do this.
And that's a pretty big one.
Love me some subs too. This is so great.
Moving on, fight number 10, Hani Barcelos versus Trevin Jones, and I can kick this one off here. For me, I kind of think the Trevin Jones submission's a little too big here. I'm sorry, Barcelos submission is too big here. Let me see if it's still, it's still 650. It was 850 on FanDuel. Like, listen, I know Jones is a black belt, but there's levels to this shit, and Barcelos is a very high level black belt. I know he hasn't shown a lot of submissions in the UFC, but man, like, this guy's super dangerous when he wants to get the fight to the ground. He's, for the most part, he's standing with a lot of these guys, but after last fight, after getting hurt like that, getting beat up with 180 significant strikes, he might think twice about this fight. He might take it to the ground. He's the way better grappler, in my opinion, submission grappler. Barcelos submission plus 650 is how I'm going to go here. How about you?
I have things written down so people can see. It says Rowney sub plus 650 because I like pain and anger. This is my pain and anger bet of the week. I have bet Rowney. I have lost many units on Rowney by sub. I have called on this very, very podcast Rowney by sub multiple times and lost you money as well. So I apologize, but this is the time. I feel like you said, I feel like he's got to try something different. And he's gone this, his same path over and over and over. And I feel like he could win on the feet in this fight against Trevin. He could just play his kind of range game and come at him and just out-volume him. But I think it's just this is just an easier path for him. And I think on the ground, I think his wrestling is better. And I think his jiu-jitsu is better. So, yeah, plus 650 just seems a little bit off. And it's not like Trevin hasn't been subbed. He's a black belt, but it's not like he's been subbed twice. So I do think it is a pain and anger bet of the week that I might have to burn just a little bit more money on this. Why not?
I mean, he's wrestling. The thing is, he's wrestling a lot. He's taking guys. So in Kakramanov fight, he wrestles a lot, and then eventually he gets subbed, right? So if he wants to play that game with a guy that's much more dangerous than Kakramanov is, go ahead and play it. I'll be happy to maybe cash my ticket if you do that. So, moving on. The co-main event of the night, it's Randy Brown versus Francisco Chernaldo. What do you got here, Tim?
Well, I know Chernaldo's never been finished, and I keep thinking, obviously I'm on the Brown side. I think he's got too many tail of the tape edges in this fight. Just way younger. Chernaldo's he's just one of the oldest dudes out there. He's not terrible anymore. He's still got solid, he's still got an all-around solid game. he's been getting hurt more and more the last few fights. He's been getting like hurt against guys that, obviously, Dwight Grant has some power in his hands, so I'm not surprised with that. But I think he also won that fight, so I don't think it was a split. But the fight was super like low volume, like striking. I think both of them had under 40 strikes for the entire fight, and I think just Brown is just too quick, and he'll keep at range, and most likely kind of like feel him out and try to just stay at range and kick him for a while and just jab him up. Probably Brown by points is like the safe kind of most likely play of the night, but I wouldn't hate anybody for taking a shot on KO3 for Brown. If he wins the first 2 rounds kind of handily, he could get a little bit more aggressive and like kind of get like an attritional you're not doing anything type of knockout against him. I just think the Chernaldo is showing that he's starting to take a little bit of damage worse than he has, and I wouldn't be afraid of taking a little bit of shot at even plus 900 on KO2 is not bad either. So kind of lean the points, kind of think he just stays at range, but if he does finish him, I think it's later. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I understand like Chernaldo is durable and all that, and it's true. But listen, he got dropped against Jai Herbert. He got dropped against Muslim Salikov. This guy's even been dropped by James Vick, for Christ's sake. And it's a huge reach advantage. We're talking about 8-inch reach advantage, huge size advantage here. Brown knows how to use his range, bro. Like, this guy is very good. He's very long. Chernaldo's still dangerous, but like, if I knew for sure like Chernaldo can like just blast away at the legs and destroy that leg, like, then I would be a little bit more worried. That he just doesn't throw too many calf kicks, stuff like that. So Brown should be able to touch him up. Brown should be able to like beat him up. And I took Brown KO plus 295. It's not a Lambo play. I don't know when it's gonna come. It could come early, honestly. It could come at any time. Listen, if he hurts Chaos Williams, he can hurt Francisco Chernaldo. Like, Chaos Williams, probably one of the most durable guys that I've seen out there, and he hurt him pretty bad in that 3rd round. So give me Brown by KO. That's how I see it. And with that being said, before we go on to our main event, there's 42 of you in here. Please hit that like. Please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I think I'm at 9. Somehow I lost subscribers. I was 981, went down to 979, went back up to 980. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. I'm going to get to the 1K eventually. But yeah, guys, thank you very much. And we will move on to the main event of the night. It is Mackenzie Dern versus Janan Jan. And I can kick this one off. Dern submission 345 on FanDuel plus 550. Dern submission 345 plus 550. Eventually, once Yan starts slowing down some more, I know Dern has shitty takedowns, but she's got 5 rounds to do it. I think she's gonna eventually get her down. And my God, like, watching Yan on the ground on some of these fights, dude, like, she is completely fucking lost against Esparza. She's fucking lost against even Claudia Gadelha at times. Imagine what Dern's going to do to her down there. So I like that prop. 345 plus 550 for Mackenzie Dern by submission. I think this fight goes under too. Under 3.5, 4.5, whatever that line is. What do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, man, those lines, if you do those individually, you might be better off going individual rounds on that, because it's 28, 19, and 11 to 1 on FanDuel. So you can make 550s a little bit closer to like 11, 15 to 20 range.
No, because you have to put individually. So like you have to do it like this. If you put 100 on each one, right?
Right.
So, but if you do them like at once, you could put 300 on plus 550. You get it?
That's right. So you'd be at like 1750 to 1800 range, and then if you do 100 on 19, you're at 100 at 19, and if you're at 120, you'd be at 20. So you're at 28.
Yeah, but you got to subtract the 200 that you lost.
Right. So, but I'm still saying, so if you're at 28, you're at 28 to 1, 19, and then 11. So you're only, if you're really losing like one on only one of the rounds if you do it. It's if you do it the split, you'd actually, with what the numbers they're giving you here. But I'm with you. I think it's sub, but I think it's earlier. I think it's 1, 2, 3. I kind of like it's plus 340. It's like a plus 340, plus 600, and plus 1100. But I'm gonna take a shot. Like those lines at later on in the fight, I'll take a small stabs at those as well because those are pretty high. I think that she gets her out earlier. I think that she's like gotten better striking. It's the same thing as Julia Stoli. It's like she's gotten better striking to get closer, and once she gets close, she doesn't need a takedown. She'll just wrap you up, and any limb that she can get close on. I mean, she went for like a flying armbar attempt last time against Tisha Torres. Like she's gonna monkey her way onto you. So like I just think it happens earlier. I think I have no fucking clue how she didn't sub Marina Rodriguez. No clue, like at all, how she didn't sub her in that fight. So credit to Marina on that one, but I thought that was just like kind of weird shit. So yeah, I think rounds 1 through 3, if you want to take individual or if you just want to go, it's like a Corolla play if you're doing it on FanDuel on all of them. But yeah, I think any one of those first 3 rounds, she gets her down. But I don't hate your shots. The numbers are fantastic because I think the books think that she gets her. It's pretty early for her as well. So
hopefully we get 3 and we both win.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. That about wraps up all the Lambo plays for UFC Vegas 61. Now we will give you our Lambo parlay. For me, I haven't put it in a calculator. Do you have the calculator up by any chance, Tim?
No, I don't.
I'll put it. You give yours while I pull it up.
All right. So I got one that is a complete degen long shot, and then I've got one that's kind of I'm pretty confident in. So it's like 19.5 to 1 is Costa by KO, Stolyarenko by sub, Dern by sub, and I think that was Sadiq by KO. So that was like 19.5, 20 to 1. And then 153 to 1 is Costa KO 1, Stolyarenko sub 1, Jesse Ronson KO 1. So that's 100 right. All around 1 KO.
So you got a crazy one and a not so crazy one, even though the not so crazy one is 20 to 1. For me, I will give Lynn's decision, Ronson KO, and Davis KO. And that's 105 to 1 right there. So Lynn's decision, Ronson KO, and Davis KO, 105 to 1. I mean, I think those are decently live, to be honest. And obviously these are huge long shots. And yeah, I think I've hit 2 of them this year. But, I'm not expecting to hit.
We've hit a few. I would think that we've probably hit around 4 or 5 of these this year. I know I've hit at least 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
they're big ones too. You've hit a huge ones. We've hit some really big ones on the show.
Yeah, I hit that 67 to 1 last one. We'll see. I mean, the thing I'm gonna say is like when you guys are playing these, for sure, like play them very small, like but if you hit them, obviously you're going to hit for decent money because you're talking about, 105 to 1. Like you're putting $10, you're winning a good amount of money for $10. So, yeah, I mean, that's it. That about wraps it up. Thank you to everybody again in chat. We appreciate each and every one of you. 48 still hanging out. Please hit the like on the way out. Please subscribe and, we will see you guys tomorrow for the watch party on Spaces. Take it easy, everybody, and have a great night.